Another installment of Life as You Own It. We have missed you because almost a week has gone by since we've last gotten together. I'm Mark McDougald. You are checking out the fastest growing, what is it? Fastest
What
growing
is
what,
this?
Fee? What exactly is this? The fastest growing phenomena in radio. Life as You Own It, the show where we cover everything under the roof over your head. Whether you're a homeowner, an aspiring homeowner, a future baron of land, or land baron, as some might say, someone that you rent, you're buying your first home, you're buying your last home. We're going to talk about all that falls under that roof and oh so much more. We believe the roof over your head isn't just the shelter that you provide for you and your family, but it's also the financial roof. It's that figurative roof, that which protects you and provides for you and gives you the quality of life that, you know what, I think we all deserve. I'm Mark McDougald, and my co-host today is none other than the lovely and talented, what's your name again?
Felicia McDougald.
Felicia McDougald. This is not my sister. She is not so fortunate as to be my sister and not to be forced to live with me day in and day out. This is my lovely wife, talented, lovely wife,
Still forced to live with
who
you
has been gracious enough to join us on the show, filling in for the powerhouse of mortgage lending and financial information, Craig Miller, who is not with us today. He is taking care of other business, but that's okay. I love spending time with my wife, especially an hour where I get to control the board. What's that mean? It means I can turn the mic off, I can say whatever I want, I can come back and edit this. It's the perfect world. I wish life were only this easy. So folks, if you're checking us out for the first time, welcome aboard. We hope you enjoy the show, and this is your weekend education fill. We hope you have as much fun as we do. We come out with a lot of information that you can put into action today, and we also have some fun while we're doing it, don't we, Fee?
We attempt to.
We're coming on almost 7 years of doing the show,
Yeah.
almost 7 years, and Fee has been good about stepping in on numerous occasions. And if you will check out the video podcast, go to YouTube, you will see today we're actually, instead of just focusing on our radio and the radio, the quality of the radio program, we're trying to also bring you a little better video content by actually looking you in the eyes. Right now, if you go, I am looking you in the eye. Yes, I am telling you, our listeners, I love you. I'm proud of you for checking out the show, and we appreciate you hanging out with us for this next hour. Remember, folks, you can catch us on a growing number of stations. We are now over 60, not to mention we're also on iHeartRadio. You can catch us on YouTube, you can podcast the show, and you can follow us at Twitter or on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Right? Thanks to Heather Foss for taking care of all of those arrangements. Folks, remember, you can also reach out to us, 800-270-6425. Give us your scenarios. We want to know how we can help you. If you need advice, you need suggestions, you just need a shoulder to cry on, we're here for you. Reach out to us again, 800-270-6425. And we do have the famous Should You State or Should You Go segments that we like to do almost every show, where we will read our listeners' questions or their emails. And oh yes, question@lifeasyouownit.com, question or questions@lifeasyouownit.com, or I'll give you the short version here, question@LaYOi.com. Just fire away. It'll come to Craig and I, it'll come to Heather. We will make sure that we answer it either personally or we will read it on air so that your fellow listeners can hear what advice we share with you on your situation. All right, so what are we covering today? Honey? You want me to go over it?
No, I don't want you to call me honey.
Why not? Okay, well, today we're going to talk about the 3 biggest financial mistakes made by each generation.
Those are
What are the generations, Felicia? What are they?
Millennials, Xers, and the boomers.
And the boomers. So,
The
folks, we're going
boomers.
to talk about, generally speaking, what are considered the 3 biggest mistakes each generation makes. Also, a bucket list. You ready to do a bucket list, Tom?
We should do this. I think every couple should do this together, honestly. Put
Do
together
that?
your bucket list. Yeah. Then you can help each other achieve on that bucket list.
You know, I get a
before
little
you off each other.
concerned whenever you keep telling me I should put together a bucket list, that there might be a greater plan that you have for me that...
Did you? You clearly
is in
didn't
the
hear
near
what I
future.
just said.
No, you're like, Mark, you really should do a bucket list, and you should do it quick. And in fact, you should knock out that bucket list in the near future.
And
Listeners, should I be concerned about that? Her encouraged me to knock out a few of these items.
And
Maybe
I'm
she
in
knows something I don't
insurance. I'm in insurance, people.
So we're going to cover what is a bucket list. Hopefully you have one, and we've got some suggestions. that can help you create your very own bucket list. Also, here in just a few minutes, we're going to give the national average on interest rates, yes, mortgage interest rates for those of you that own the roof over your head, and preparing for your own death. What are some practical steps you need to take so that when the day comes, when the Green Reaper,
That's better than the Grim Reaper.
the Grim Reaper, it is. We'd rather the Green Reaper.
We'd rather come with the green.
We'd rather be the Green Ripper than the Grim Reaper, right?
Definitely.
All right. When the Grim Reaper comes a knocking, you are ready so that not only are your loved ones going to ideally maybe not have to. They're going to feel the pain of your loss, but do you want them also to feel the pain of cleaning up potentially a mess? So some practical steps you can take to prepare for your own last days on this earth. What else are we covering? Well, you know what? You'll have to stay tuned throughout the show to find out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Felicia,
Yes.
fellow co-host, professional host, did you have a good week?
Great week. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
It's a short week. Yeah.
That's right. I must say, that's a great color on you.
Thank you.
Blue is a fantastic color on you.
Thank
Okay, folks, so let's jump in with a national average on interest rates. Folks, if you are a homeowner, you got to make sure you're getting a good deal, don't you? So whether you're in the middle of a refinance transaction, maybe you consummated one last week or 8 years ago, this will give you a little bit of a benchmark as to where the average rates are. There's a lot of little caveats here, so pay close attention. This is based on a $200,000 loan amount, based on a 760 or greater credit score. That's the optimal credit score.
Right.
Also based upon having a minimum of 20% equity and a purchase transaction. Another couple things to add in, you're also going to pay on these interest rates, you're going to pay some points, and I'm going to give you that amount, and some fees. So there's lots to understand about the transaction. But remember, if you go to lifeasyouwantit.com, we have the break-even formula. That's the most important thing that exists on that site, is the break-even formula, and it can show you how to be an educated and savvy mortgage consumer. So national average on rates for last week were 30-year fixed, just under 4%. That is so just under 4%, charging 3/4 of a discount or origination point. 3/4 on a $200,000 loan is 0.75%. 0.75% times 200,000 is $1,500. So you'd pay it's points to get that rate of $1,500 plus closing costs. Closing costs range greatly across this great nation of ours, anywhere from $2,000, likely on the low end, all the way up to $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000, depending on whether you have tax stamps in that state or mortgage stamps, mortgage tax, etc., for each transaction. So know those costs before you jump in. Again, do the break-even formula. 15-year fixed, just right at 3 1/8, charging just over, right around 5/8 on average. Again, this is the average, 3 1/8, charging 5/8 plus those closing costs, and 5/1 ARM is just above, is at 3 1/4, and charging 3/8, so a little less than the points, but 3 1/4. What is a 5/1 ARM? Well, you guys know that. Fixed for 5 years, then it can adjust. If it's a 5/1 ARM, it can adjust each year after that. You got to understand the terms of it so you know how much you can adjust. And frequently, Mr. Miller has really stood on his pedestal. I guess he would be maybe at the pulpit, stood at the pulpit, and preached the value not only of doing the break-even formula and considering a no-cost refi on your transaction, but also evaluating whether an ARM makes more sense for you. So a lot to consider on the mortgage front. Great opportunities to save some money. But don't fall for it. Don't spend a bunch of money to get that really sexy, whether it's a 2 7/8 on a 5/1 ARM or it's a 3 3/4 versus 4%. If you're paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to save an extra $30, do the math, folks. You're not going to come out ahead, especially if you don't plan on being in the house for the next 8, 10, 12, 15, 25 years or whatever amount of time you need to recoup that investment. All right. Covered any questions on those rates, Fee?
No questions.
Okay, good. Folks, let's see. What do you want to jump on next? You want to talk about the 3 biggest financial? You're on that one. You want to jump on it?
No, that's where you said you were going.
Okay, that's where I'm going. All right, so 3 biggest mistakes by generation. And Fee, do you want to give our listeners what the generation breakdowns are? Or do you want me to?
You go ahead and do it. The years.
All right,
you
so
mean,
most
that
of you
were born?
probably
Yeah.
know this. We hear it all the time in the media, but the millennials or Gen Y, born between 1981 and 1996. Gen Xers, born between 65 and 80. And baby boomers, you know who you are, between 46 and 64. So what you've got, those are the three tiers. Those are the biggest purchasing audiences. Those are the generations that exist that are viable contributors to our society. Right?
Right?
Okay, so some of these might be surprising to you, some may not be as surprising, but according to Quentin Futrell on Market Watch, sharing his information here, here are the three biggest mistakes by each generation. Number one, millennials. They're the least likely to have an emergency fund. Really? You think? Well, there's a couple reasons we could say why they wouldn't. One, they're younger. And they've not yet experienced a little of the hard knocks of life, and two, they've not had enough time to save. But nonetheless, folks, that is a mistake. It doesn't matter your age. If you start working, your overhead is less. So if you've just started your job and you're young, you don't have as much overhead, nor should you. So the time period to get those 6 or 12 months reserves is shorter. So we don't give you the excuse because you're young and just started your job. You still should have a minimum of 6 months. Optimal is 12 months. Also, they're the least likely to keep on top of insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is, Steve?
You know, I was surprised by that one because,
Really?
yeah, they're young, they're on the internet, they're
naive,
shopping.
but because someone shops a lot doesn't make them wise. I think there's a
Yeah.
part of it, and they've not
Yeah.
experienced.
Yeah,
they've not
there could be
experienced.
some truth to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have not come in. They've not had to use insurance. The younger we are, the shorter our path, the less opportunity we've had to have stuff go wrong.
To realize
where we've
the
had to go,
differences.
oh wait
Sure.
a minute, there is a difference. So at least like to keep on top of insurance. It's important that you do, folks, especially understanding your coverages for your home, for your auto, and then also making sure you have life insurance if you have children or loved ones you need to take care of. When we come back, we're going to continue on down the path, talking about the financial mistakes each generation is making. Life as you own it. Keep on hanging out.